Okay, who doesn't love popping bubble wrap, right? That little snap is just so satisfying. But here's the thing. That sound? It's also the sound of a truly massive global industry. So today, we're going to unwrap the story behind this packaging giant. And we'll dig into why its biggest problem is that it's, well, pretty much unpoppable when it comes to our planet. Let's dive in and see just how big this issue is.
So before we get into the whole environmental twist, you've got to understand the sheer scale we're talking about with bubble wrap. This stuff isn't just a fun little distraction. It's a huge piece of e-commerce and global shipping, protecting pretty much everything that lands on our doorsteps.
And when I say massive, I really mean it. In 2024, the global market for bubble wrap was valued at over $3.5 billion. It's cheap, it works, and its demand is just getting bigger. It's actually projected to shoot past $5 billion by 2034.
But, and this is the kicker, look at this number. An estimated 91% of plastic-based packaging, and yeah, that includes all that bubble wrap, never even makes it to a recycling facility. It just doesn't. Instead, it's ending up in our landfills, our oceans, you name it. That is the real problem we've got to unpack here.
So let's really break down what this enormous plastic footprint actually looks like. The hidden environmental cost of all those convenient deliveries is just staggering. And the numbers, well, they tell a pretty shocking story.
To put that 91% into perspective, get this. In just 1 year, 2018, over 3 million tons of plastic wraps, bags, and sacks were just tossed into landfills. That's a volume that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And the reason why is pretty clear when you look at the recycling numbers. This chart here shows that a tiny 2% of flexible packaging, like bubble wrap, actually gets recycled each year. The systems we have just aren't built to handle this stuff, so it's basically a one-way ticket to the dump.
And once it's in a landfill, the problem just gets worse. You see, bubble wrap is made from a type of plastic called low-density polyethylene, or LDPE. This material doesn't just go away. Nope. It sticks around for hundreds of years, slowly breaking down and polluting everything around it. And a huge amount of it doesn't even make it that far. Almost half, nearly 46% of the new plastic waste flowing into our oceans every year comes from these thin, flexible plastics, exactly like bubble wrap. It's a straight line from our online orders to poisoning our seas.
Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. So what's the solution? Well, innovators started looking for answers in some really cool places. The genius of nature's best architects and, believe it or not, the ancient art of paper folding.
The key inspiration here is something called the honeycomb structure. This pattern of hexagonal cells, it's basically an engineering marvel. It gives you incredible strength and shock absorption, but it uses the absolute minimum amount of material. It's nature's perfect design for something that's both lightweight and super durable.
And there's no secret where this idea came from. As this source points out, the whole concept was taken directly from the honeycomb that bees make. For ages, mathematicians have known that the hexagon is the most efficient shape for filling a space, and bees just figured it out naturally. Now, what's really cool is how we humans took this idea from nature and ran with it. The Japanese arts of origami, which is folding paper, and kirigami, which is cutting paper, show us that you can create these unbelievably strong, 3D structures from something as simple as a flat sheet of paper.
And just look at this connection. On the left, you see a really complex kirigami design, made with nothing but cuts and folds. And on the right, you see that exact same principle being used in modern packaging. It's a straight line from ancient art to a sustainable, modern-day solution. Pretty amazing.
So let's meet the hero of our story, honeycomb paper. This is the stuff that takes its cues from both bees and kirigami to create a real, honest-to-goodness alternative to plastic bubble wrap. And this isn't just some fantasy concept, it's already out there. Companies like FlexiHex are really leading the charge. Their product is made from 100% recycled paper. You can just toss it in your regular curbside recycling bin, and it biodegrades in about 2 months. And the best part? Its patented structure actually offers fantastic protection for fragile stuff. Okay, so let's put these two head-to-head. I mean, on the environmental side, it's not even a fair fight, right? But the perks of honeycomb paper go way beyond that. It ships in these super compact rolls, which can save you like 80% on storage space. That's huge. Plus, it's self-interlocking, so a lot of the time you don't even need tape. You just tear it by hand, and honestly, it just gives you a much more premium kind of eco-friendly feel when you're unboxing something.
Now I know what you're thinking. What about the cost? And it's true, bubble wrap can be cheaper to buy right off the bat, but honeycomb paper can actually be way more cost-effective in the long run. Why?
because it's lighter, which cuts down shipping costs, you save a ton of money on warehouse space, and you use way less tape. All those little savings really start to add.
So this whole shift away from plastic, it's part of a much bigger trend. So what's next for the boxes showing up at our doors? Well, the future of packaging is getting a lot smarter, a lot lighter, and a whole lot greener.
Honeycomb paper is really just the beginning. We're seeing these amazing new materials, like packaging that's literally grown from mushroom roots or molded from cornstarch. The industry is also moving toward what they call circular solutions. That's packaging designed from day one to be reused or refilled. And tech is playing a part too, with smart packaging that can give you local recycling info right from a QR code on your phone.
And this isn't just about what consumers want, it's also being pushed by actual regulations. The European Union, for example, is making it law to significantly cut packaging waste over the next couple of decades. That kind of pressure from governments forces the entire industry to innovate, which means we're all going to start seeing a lot more of these sustainable options.
So all of this really brings us to one final thought. As all these new materials become more common, the choice we make isn't just about function anymore. The next time you open a package, think about what that packaging is really protecting. Is it just the product inside, or is it helping to protect the planet too?